When the Nazis invaded the Netherlands in 1940, everything changed for a young girl named Carla Pepperzak in the Jewish community she was a part of. By 1941, the Jews were forced to register with the German authorities and were issued identification papers marked with the J, and eventually required to wear the Star of David to mark their status. But Carla's father was able to acquire papers that designated part of her family as non-Jewish, allowing her to begin her journey as a Dutch resistance operative at the age of 18. Soon after, Carla enrolled in a medical technology program in a local hospital, where she stole a German nurse's uniform and ID. Enabled by this disguise and her resourcefulness, Carla was able to secure a farmhouse for her uncle's family to go into hiding, her first act as part of the Dutch resistance. Later, as a messenger and member of the underground movement, Carla similarly secured attics, basements, and barns as hiding places for Jews in rural Holland throughout the war. She forged identification papers and ration cards, and brought them food and medical supplies, often biking for several hours a day to travel between locations. She was stopped by German soldiers several times, but managed to evade suspicion, partly because young women tended to fly under the Nazi radar because they were considered inferior, according to Washington State University professor Raymond Sun. Altogether, Carla saved around 40 Jews, all of whom likely survived the war. Carla described her mindset at the time, saying, "I did not have any responsibility, only for myself, and that made a big difference. I felt I could help. I had the opportunity." Carla is the emblem of sacrifice in many ways. Despite being surrounded by danger and tragedy, she continuously risked her life to help her fellow Jews, when she could instead have resided in relative safety if she kept to herself. Though Carla saved several of her family members, she estimates that 75% of her relatives were killed by the Nazis. At one point, she said, "For 50 years, I never talked about it. I never wanted to think about it. I really wanted to get away from it all." Though it pains her to revisit the past, to this day, Carla continues to place the greater good before herself by sharing her story with the public to spread awareness. She is a reminder to us in these troubling times to always be selfless, to take every opportunity to be compassionate, even though you may have to give something up, to remember your humanity, especially when those around you have forgotten it. And most of all, Carla is a reminder that though you may be young and feel small and unimportant, you always have the power to change someone's life.